got the hang of it now. 560, paleontology. 570, life sciences. You know, this Dewey Decimal System's really quite simple once you understand all the nuances.
Nuances?
I'm trying to expand my vocabulary. I'm still waiting to find out the nuances of my next assignment, although I've already condensed the possibilities.
Oh, you've condensed, huh?
Yes, I know that God sent me here for a reason, so I've condensed the list down to 3 people who I think could use my help.
Then you're not interested in hearing that your actual assignment is to get a library card?
A library card?
Yeah,
That's it?
that's it.
Why?
Well, because God asked you to do it. That should be reason enough.
But, you know, to get a library card, you need a last name and an address.
Well, allow me to suggest a new word for today. Improvise.
Excuse me, Rita. I'd like to apply for a library card.
Let me get this straight. You volunteer at the library, but you don't have a library card?
Yes. No, but I'd like to get one now.
Okay. Monica. M-O-N-I-C-A. Last name?
Well,
Welli? Sounds like a fish. W-E-L-L-E-Y-E. Address?
home address.
Wherever you get your mail.
Oh, 11660 Front Street, Boise, Idaho. Rita, I think you've switched the numbers there. It's 11660, and you've written 16160.
11660 Front Street, Boise, Idaho. There. Congratulations. You are now part of the bureaucracy of the state of Idaho. Now go away.
What do I do now?
Just wait a few days until the nuances of this assignment show themselves.
I can't do this, Tess. I'm an angel.
So now you're an angel on jury duty.
Why?
Because that's where you're needed. Getting your library card just puts you in the system. You've got to stay in there. Look at this.
Oh, my goodness. Did this man do what it says here?
I don't know.
Well, shouldn't I know that if I'm going to be on a jury?
Nobody on a jury knows the truth going in. And a lot of times they don't know the truth when it's all over. Jury duty is very difficult. It has to do with facts and evidence, not necessarily truth at all.
But I'm an angel. I'm always about truth.
Yes, that's why you have to get on that jury. When you walk down the road, heavy burden, heavy load, I will rise and I will walk with you. I'll walk with you till the sun don't even shine. Walk with you every time. I tell you, I'll walk with you. Walk with you. Believe me, I'll walk with you.
It just seems that I could do so much more as an angel than I can as a juror.
Oh, I see. Apparently, God didn't know that he was disrupting your plan. Now, you listen to me, Miss Wings. Human beings are always trying to get out of jury duty because they think they've got something better to do too. And that excuse doesn't work most of the time for them, and it's not going to work for you at all. You were called, and you will serve. It's important that you are on that jury.
Yes, ma'am.
25 minutes past the hour. How are you guys? What did I miss?
Welcome back. You went out of the country? I didn't even realize. My son's. Where did you go? St. George's. That is kind of.
I went to the South.
Great time.
Very nice to meet you.
For Pete's sake, is real cream too much to ask for people who are trying to do their civic duty here?
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
I look like a dude to you?
An old dude's still a dude.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Monica.
Carol Ann.
Honey, you've been buying pretty and pure cosmetics from me for years. Now, have I ever steered you wrong?
Come on. No, not 50 shares, 50,000. You're gonna bankrupt all my clients before I can get back.
Books on tape.
You own or rent, Monica?
Neither, actually.
Oh, you're still living at home? Well, nothing wrong with that if it works for you. When you are ready to go out on your own, just give me a call. I am always available. You want a house, condo, apartment, big, small, short-term, long-term. I get them all before they go out on the listings. Believe me, you do not get into the million-dollar circle unless you give people what they want. So,
I see.
Morning, everybody. When I call your name here, just grab your things and follow me. All right, Samantha Munson, Nicholas Withers, Francis Bolashek, Carol Ann Larkin, Monica Welli, Kevin Carter, Young Shim No, Peter Garfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, the case you may be asked to hear is a capital crime. Murder in the first degree. That means that if he's convicted, the defendant will, at the very least, spend the rest of his life in prison. He could receive the death penalty. Does this present a moral issue that would prevent any of you from rendering a fair verdict in this case? Good. Because of the nature of this case, I'm going to let counsel conduct brief interviews prior to selecting this jury. Who's first, Andrew?
Walter Teitelbaum.
How are you today, Mr. Teitelbaum?
Old and cranky.
Not a fan of retirement, huh?
It wasn't my choice. I made the rules when I founded the company.
So you believe in rules?
You gotta have rules.
Thank you, Mr. Teitelbaum.
Are you married, sir?
48 years.
Takes a lot of work to stay married that long.
What do you think for better or worse means?
Have you ever hit your wife?
Never.
Thank you, Mr. Teitelbaum.
Young Shim No. That's Korean, right?
yes, I came with my family from Korea 14 years ago, but now I'm an American citizen.
Forgive my ignorance, but do I call you Young or No or...
My name is Young Shim No.
Okay. Have you ever been on a jury before?
No.
I'm a descendant of James A. Garfield, the 20th president. He was assassinated, you know. Shot down in the prime of his life.
Do you consider yourself an expert on murder?
Well, an expert. No. I just find the subject interesting. Who did it? Did they act alone? What was the motive? Because, you know, you gotta ask the questions.
Have you ever been the victim of a violent crime?
Have I? No.
I have 4 children, 3 boys and a girl.
What would you do if someone were stalking your daughter?
I'd do whatever it took to protect her.
I don't know how I'd feel. I've never actually had a romantic relationship.
Are you anxious to be on this jury?
Oh, yes. I even got my own legal pad so I could take notes.
Well, that's very organized. What do you do for a living, Miss Welli?
I do volunteer work.
Exclusively.
Yes.
Do you have any other source of income?
I'm supported completely by my father.
Good answer, baby.
And if this trial were to go on for a while, it wouldn't create a hardship for you?
Oh, no. I consider it a duty, a calling, almost.
A calling. Are you a
God-fearing person?
Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, you know. Fear being a healthy respect for, not terror of. God, I mean.
Thank you. I think we're gonna have to cut this one.
Well, you still got one dismissal you can use, but there's only one juror left in the pool to choose from.
Your Honor, we accept Monica Welli as our 12th juror.
Tess, I didn't know that Brendan could get the death penalty. How could I ever make a decision like that?
Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and render unto God that which is God's. Which in your case does not mean, baby, that God sends angels to court to change the law. He sends them to change hearts.
Okay, we're ready. Right. Everybody, this way, please.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the task before you is a simple one. Listen to the evidence. That's all you've got to do. Because the evidence in this case proves beyond any doubt that that man did willfully and maliciously set fire to the home of his former girlfriend, Elizabeth Bennett, killing her in her sleep. The state will provide eyewitnesses to this crime. Elizabeth's parents will testify to the terrible fits of temper that Brendan Falstaff exhibited towards their daughter. We will present you with physical evidence tying that defendant to this tragedy, and we will offer you a motive. The defense may try to convince you that it appeared as if no one was home when the fire was started. It doesn't matter that Brendan Falstaff believed no one was home. Elizabeth Bennett was there, and she died as a result of it. And in Idaho, a death occurring during the commission of a felony is murder. Plain and simple.
Elizabeth Bennett died in a fire. That is a fact that cannot be disputed. That someone set that fire also seems undeniably clear. The only real question is, who set that fire? The prosecution will offer you hearsay and circumstantial evidence that will suggest it might have been Brendan Falstaff. In point of fact, there is nothing in their case that positively identifies Brendan Falstaff as the perpetrator of this terrible crime. There is nothing but a broken heart offered as a motive. Ladies and gentlemen, Brendan Falstaff does have a broken heart. He's not particularly charming. He's not very popular. He's not even a Rhodes Scholar. But most importantly, he is not a murderer.
Miss Lang, call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The prosecution calls Officer Jarvis.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, over the past 6 days, you have heard the arguments presented by both sides in this case. Now, you must decide what you believe. If you believe the prosecution has proven, beyond a reasonable doubt, that Brendan Falstaff committed this crime, then you must find him guilty of first-degree murder with special circumstances. If, however, you feel the prosecution has not proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt, it is your responsibility to bring back a verdict of not guilty. I urge you to consider your decision carefully. And your decision must be unanimous. The life of this young man hangs in the balance. Bailiff, escort the jury to the deliberation room.
This way, please. Okay, right this way, please. Yeah. Sit over here. So there's a restroom right through that door. There's a thermostat right here by the door you just came in through, and there's also a buzzer if you need me.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, thank you.
If I were Brendan Falstaff, I sure wouldn't mind knowing there's an angel in that room.
Brendan Falstaff is not her assignment. Her assignment is in there.
Are you all right, Caroline?
Yeah. Fine, I just need some air. After a week in that courtroom, the walls start to close in on you. Thanks.
Does it matter where we sit?
Well, why don't we just sit in the same order we did in the jury box?
Excellent. I'm ready to rock and roll.
This is not a party. This is very serious business.
Can we just get to it already? I've got a house closing tomorrow.
All right. Well, we have to elect a foreman.
Four-person?
By Carol Ann. She's already sitting at the point.
Well, does anybody object?
No.
Good, then. I accept. All right, let's take this vote and get out of here. Everybody grab a piece of paper, write your vote on it, and stick it in that basket down there. Okay. Thank you. All right, guilty. See here, we have got a guilty, not guilty, and a guilty, and a guilty. This says quilty. Now, I'm going to take that as a misspelling and not a suggestion that the defendant is warm and cuddly. Not guilty, guilty, not guilty, guilty, and guilty. Okay, that makes 3 not guilties and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Guilty. So who didn't vote? What's the problem?
Excuse me, why didn't you vote?
I abstain.
There goes your house closing.
You can't abstain. You have to vote, guilty or not guilty. That's the rule.
I'd like to talk before I vote. I'd like to hear why everybody voted the way they did.
I don't need to justify my vote to you.
I'm not asking you to justify it, Nicholas. I'm just trying to understand why some of you are so sure that Brendan Falstaff is guilty.
We can't let him get away with what he did. He's got to be made an example of.
Don't think of him as an example. He's a human being.
He's a murderer. He deserves to die.
Don't we owe something to the parents of that girl?
No. We owe the state of Idaho a fair decision. That's what we're here for.
This is really very simple, Monica, okay? Brendan Falstaff never had a girlfriend before Elizabeth Bennett.
No surprise, the guy's a freak.
Now, listen to this. She broke up with him. He snapped. He made a lot of threats. He stalked her for a month before he finally lost it completely. He filled up a gas can, burned down the house while she was sleeping. For heaven's sakes, Monica, he could have burned down the entire block.
Right, and what about the burn spots where the gas was poured? Huh? What do they call that?
Pour patterns.
Yeah.
They prove it was arson.
You're right. There was an empty gas can in the trunk of his car, and the guy he bought the gas from identified him.
That patrolman, Officer...
Jarvis?
Yeah, he said he interviewed everybody in the neighborhood. But nobody saw anything except that fellow...
Yeah, the neighbor across the street who testified he saw Brendan's car driving away from the scene. It just seems like an open and shut case to me, that's all. He's got nobody to back up his alibi, and he's got plenty of motive and opportunity.
That's the way I see it. She's right. There's plenty of real evidence to sink this kid, so let's just go with that.
You see, most of you have made up your minds already before we've even discussed this.
What is left to discuss?
Well, the eyewitness, for one.
What, Gunderson, the neighbor? What about him? Look, even if everything else is circumstantial, Gunderson was an eyewitness.
He saw Brendan Falstaff's car leaving the scene just before the fire. He saw it.
No, he said he saw the license plate and recognized it as Brendan's.
There's no difference.
Well, yes, there is. How could he be sure it was the license plate when he couldn't even tell you what kind of car it was?
Not everybody is a car person.
And you wouldn't notice a license plate?
What color is a mailbox, Monica?
Excuse me?
U.S. mailbox, what does it look like?
It's tall, a kind of boxy shape with a curved top.
All right, good. And what color is it?
I don't know. Red, white, and blue?
What is the point here?
That people notice different things when they look at something. Look, a casual observer might be able to tell you the shape of a mailbox, but somebody who's paying close attention can also tell you the color.
Blue. Well, U.S. mailbox is all blue, except for the logo.
That is right.
Of course it's right.
Gunderson was a busybody. He loved sticking his nose into everybody's business.
And he especially watched the kid because he didn't like him.
Yeah, but neighbors like that are a real pain until something happens.
Well, Brendan was always parking his car out in front of his house.
Oh, you ought to know what the car looked like.
Yes, but it was very dark that night, and the car was going so quickly. How could he possibly be that sure?
I can show you how.
How's it going in there?
I don't know.
Well, why don't you stick your little angel head in there and see?
I can't do that. That would be interfering with the jury.
Lord, I'm gonna need a little help here.
They're buzzing for me.
Good. I'll wait right here.
Can I get you something?
Yeah, a dry erase board, please.
All right, coming right up.
Excuse me, yeah, moment of your time. Nothing personal, you know. I wasn't trying to make a fool of you.
I don't feel like a fool.
It's just this case is such a classic.
What do you mean?
Well, I read a lot of murder mysteries. Listen to them on tape, actually. If this kid was innocent, I'd have sniffed it out by now.
What you writing?
Just a list of things to do when this is over.
I could never be that organized.
Yeah, never used to be. I learned it from my husband. Excuse me.
I hate this.
Finding the truth isn't always easy, Carlos.
I think we're punishing the wrong person.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Brendan Falstaff is guilty either.
I think he is.
But didn't you vote not guilty?
Yes. But how can I condemn him when I think the parents are the ones to blame? They raised him that way.
You have children of your own, Carlos. Would you blame yourself if one of them committed a crime?
Yes.
You know, I'm not convinced that Brendan is guilty. But if you are, even if it conflicts with my own belief, I have to say that the court has asked us to judge Brendan, not his parents.
Hi, what do you want this?
That's okay. That's right, I got it. Thanks.
We can do this, people. Time is money.
I don't think that's true, Kevin. Time can be a lot more valuable than money.
Well, we agree on something, Monica. Elizabeth Bennet could have been a millionaire. It wouldn't have bought her another day.
Okay, so the lady is wondering how anybody could read the license plate of a car that's speeding down the street late at night. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if this is the witness's house and this is the victim's house, and X is the speeding car and O is the witness, then it goes something like this, right? X is speeding down the street. O looks out the window because he hears something. Now, he can't make out the car because the only street light is down the other end of the block. But the car has its headlights on. So there's a light on the license plate, right? Now, here's the beauty part. Our neighbor, witness O, lives closest to the corner. So, as X is speeding down the road, he has to slow down in order to make the turn.
So that's when he sees the license plate.
Touchdown. You got it.
I can't see any flaw in that logic. That answers my question.
Good. Let's take another vote. We can save time with a show of hands. So everybody voting guilty, raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11.
The judge said that if we had a reasonable doubt, then we had to vote not guilty.
What possible doubt is left?
I'm not sure exactly, but...
If you're not sure, then that's not reasonable. Look, Monica, you're doubting because you're afraid of what convicting him means. And if the death penalty frightens you that much, why didn't you just disqualify yourself? Why are you even on this jury?
Look, I'm not sure why I'm on this jury, Carol Ann. But as long as I'm here, I'm going to make sure that justice doesn't suffer because you have to be someplace tomorrow at a house closing.
I'm warning you, Monica. There will be justice done here. Today. Come hell or high water. I am warning you.
Yes, he's upstairs. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Bennett. My name is Tess, and I've been watching the trial.
If you're another reporter, we have nothing more to say.
Oh, no, I'm not a reporter. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
You've had a very difficult time. Is there something you need?
I need that boy to pay for what he did.
I am not trying to be difficult.
Just comes naturally, does it?
If Brenda didn't do it, who did?
I don't know for sure, but her father owned the house, didn't he? The parents had recently moved out and she moved in. What if someone was actually trying to hurt her father and didn't know that Elizabeth lived there?
That's quite a stretch.
Perhaps, but it's not unreasonable.
I'm sorry. Brendan Falstaff started that fire.
I don't know how you can all be so certain.
Come on, Monica. We judge other people constantly. It's all about instincts.
I wouldn't want someone's instincts to decide my future.
Other people depend on mine every day. You think there's some kind of magic 8-ball that tells you whether the market's gonna go up or down? No. Life is not that simple. It's all about taking risks.
You can't take risks with someone else's life. What if Brendan Falstaff is telling the truth, huh? I mean, what if he really ran out of gas? And he walked to the gas station and filled up the can and went back and put the gas in the car?
He was trying to create an alibi.
The gas station attendant saw Brendan, but he didn't see Brendan's car.
If he ran out of gas where he said he did, he'd have to walk through Fletcher Park to get to that gas station.
Yes,
Nobody walks through Fletcher Park after dark.
Yeah, at least not live and tell about it.
but he didn't have a choice.
No, he had a plan.
This is not a mystery novel, Peter. This is a real person.
Look, this guy's some freaky loner dude who finally creeped out the only girl that ever gave him the time of day. And he totally pulled a Carrie. The movie. Wigged out and started killing people.
Everybody, look. Brendan Falstaff was heard making threats against Elizabeth Bennett and her family for weeks. The night Elizabeth died, he bought gasoline at midnight.
Right, 4 miles from her house. If he follows the speed limit, he gets to her place in about 6 minutes at 12:06.
And I gave him 4 minutes to pour the gasoline around and start the fire before Mr. Gunderson saw him drive away at 12:10.
Yes, the fire was reported at 12:15. And Brendan Falstaff arrived at his home at 12:20.
It all fits.
What are you doing there?
I'm checking the market.
You're talking to somebody?
Yeah, a broker in my office.
That's against the rules. You can't talk to anyone out there. Are you trying to cause a mistrial here?
I'm not discussing the case.
Doesn't matter. You shouldn't be doing that.
Fine. I'll put it away.
Great. We put in all this time, and now it's going to be a mistrial.
No. No, there can't be a mistrial.
Doesn't have to be a mistrial if he didn't talk about the case.
Which I didn't.
Why should we believe you?
Because I told you the truth, that's why.
How can we be sure of that?
What are you trying to say?
Everyone at the trial swore they're telling the truth. But not everyone could be. So who do we believe?
We believe the evidence, if that's all we've got.
Obviously, Monica, you don't realize that some people are just evil. And Brendan Falstaff is one of those people. Now, You can ask as many questions as you like, but the truth of the matter is, the prosecution presented a solid case with real evidence to back up their claims. And the defense didn't.
I just wanted to be sure.
Well, are you sure now? Good. Okay, let's take another vote. Everybody make out a new ballot.
Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Okay. Still here working on that murder case?
No, it's just a traffic thing. I testified in the Falstaff trial last Monday.
How'd it go?
Okay, went to jury this morning.
Tell them about the guy who saw him putting the gas in the car?
No. The only guy that can prove that kid innocent is a homeless wino that the judge won't allow.
Welcome to the criminal justice system.
What's going on in there?
I don't know. It's awfully quiet in there. Maybe they're taking a vote.
Well, you go in there and stop it until I can speak to Monica.
I can't.
Yes, you can. I just found out the truth. Now, you go in there or I will.
No.
And give me one good reason why.
Because I have an assignment here, too.
Who?
You.
Me?
You.
Me?
You.
Send it down here.
Hey, Monica, there's a 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
Just do it already.
Don't pressure the girl. She has to be allowed to vote her conscience. That's the rule.
I just need a moment, please.
Carol Ann, I've been meaning to tell you, that is a beautiful ring.
Oh, thank you. My husband found it for me in Mexico.
Father, please help me. I don't know what to do. Please. How can there be justice without truth? Please, show me.
Well, something tells me we've got at least 11 guilties.
Make that 10 guilties and 1 quilty.
You gotta let us finish this now, or we're gonna have to learn how to live on $10 a day.
Thank you for waiting.
No problem. Where's your ballot?
Actually, could we all just take another vote?
Why? I mean, we haven't even tallied this one yet.
Please, indulge me for a moment. I promise it'll make a difference.
Okay, well, it better. Listen, everyone, I'm gonna throw these ballots out. Make another one.
All right, before we pass them in, I'd like to say something.
No, enough.
Carol Ann, we really don't have a choice.
Do you remember what a difficult time Mr. Gunderson had trying to read Brendan Falstaff's license plate in court?
The dude was a raw nerve. Who could blame him?
No, I think it was more than that. Peter, would you mind writing Brendan Falstaff's license plate number up here for me, please?
Why me?
Indulge her, please.
I watched you as you filled out the ballot a moment ago. You were very careful, very deliberate. You mouthed the letters as you wrote them. A woman I work with in the library does the same thing, and Mr. Gunderson did the same thing when he read out the license plate numbers from the scrap of paper he said he wrote it down on that night. Peter, please.
All right, what's the number?
5S225.
5S225.
Wait a second. You switched the S and the 2.
You're the one who wrote Quilty.
Yeah, well, I'm a little dyslexic. Sometimes letters look backwards to me. Wait a minute, are you saying you think Gunderson's dyslexic too?
That doesn't prove anything.
Mr. Gunderson saw a car pulling out of a spot where Brendan always parks. He assumed that it was Brendan's car. Zach, could you help me, please?
Yeah.
Could you roll the board really fast around the room? Peter, I want to see if you can read this.
This is ludicrous.
Can't see it.
Thanks, Zach. I don't believe that Gunderson could either. But he'd already decided that he'd seen Brendan's car, so he told the police the license plate number that he'd called them with so many times before.
That's right. He had that car towed 100 times.
He didn't see the license plate number. He remembered it.
Gunderson's testimony is the only thing that tied that kid to the scene of the crime.
What about the gas can?
Maybe he did run out of gas.
Everybody heard him make threats.
You threatened me an hour ago, but I'm sure you didn't mean it.
I used to threaten people all the time. They used to make fun of me. Yeah, and I wanted to deck them, but I started playing football instead.
Well, Brendan Falstaff didn't play football instead. He killed somebody.
Maybe he didn't.
Well, when you put it all together, it does make you wonder.
And that, my friend, is what they call reasonable doubt.
Nice job.
No, I won't let this happen. I know he's guilty. You can't change your minds.
Carol Ann.
No, just stop talking, Monica. It's all your fault. Get out of here.
These fell from your book.
So what?
They all say the same thing. For Tim. Who's Tim?
It's none of your business, Monica. What difference does it make what's scribbled in my day planner? We have a chance to do something right here. We can convict a murderer. You're running around playing word games and reading people's private notes.
Why are you so determined to convict Brendan Falstaff?
Why? Don't you read the papers? Don't you see what's happening? People are getting away with murder. Somebody drops a match and lights a fire. Somebody leaves a gun out that a child finds and pulls the trigger. Somebody leaves a gate open and a baby falls into a swimming pool. Somebody drives by a restaurant and fires a gun just for fun and kills the only person you ever loved.
Like Tim.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Tim.
I'm so sorry.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, Monica, but so is everybody else, and it really doesn't seem to help. Nobody has any idea what this has been like.
God knows what you've been going through.
He has done enough. Trust me.
Carol Ann, you can't blame God for...
No. Don't you dare make excuses for God. Don't you dare. I don't want to hear any more excuses. The police had an excuse for not finding my husband's murderer. It was random. Nobody saw the car. It was too dark. Nobody heard the gun. It was too noisy. Everybody has an excuse. Nobody has an answer. Where's the justice, Monica? Somebody's got to be judged. Somebody has got to be punished. Someone has to pay.
You cannot punish Brendan Falstaff for the crimes of another man. Vengeance won't honor the life you had with your husband.
I loved him so much. I still do.
Listen to me, Carol Ann. Timothy still loves you too. It's okay. Don't be afraid. I'm an angel sent by God. the Almighty God who overcomes death. And right now, this moment, hold your beloved Timothy safely in the palm of his hand.
Timothy.
God loves you too, Caroline. He understands the pain, the grief, the anger that you feel for the world, for God, even for yourself.
No. He can't. Monica, because, see, it was my fault. I wasn't sure the car was locked. So Tim went up to the parking lot to check. That's the only reason he was there. I see. I wasn't sure. Reasonable doubt killed my husband. So I won't allow reasonable doubt in my life anymore. I can't.
God gives us the benefit of reasonable doubt every day. Won't you give it to yourself? Life is full of what-ifs and of onlys. It was not part of God's plan that your husband would die that night, not at all. But it was God's plan that Timothy would spend eternity with him whenever his life on this earth was over. And Tim knew that. And so his passing was not a sad thing for him, only for you. God and your husband want so much for you to rejoice in Tim's new life. And they want you to begin to live again in this one. But that begins with forgiveness. You looked for blame in a terrible tragedy and found only yourself. And then you tried and convicted yourself for the crime. But God has thrown out your verdict. And that's the truth. And the truth is setting you free.
It's just not that easy.
Yes, it is.
A lot of this proceeding has been about people seeing what they wanted to see, even at the expense of the truth. Mea culpa. I didn't want to see reasonable doubt for reasons I don't need to go into now, but I was wrong. I'm seeing a lot clearer now. So, I think we ought to take another vote. We find the defendant, Brendan Falstaff, not guilty.
No, he's guilty. That's crazy. Somebody has to pay. He's guilty.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, thank you for your time and careful consideration of this case. You are excused. Brendan Falstaff, inasmuch as you have been found not guilty, you are hereby released without condition. Court is adjourned.
I know just how she feels.
Maybe you'll have a chance to tell her.
Excuse me. My name is Carol Ann. I really would like to talk to you. Please.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
I've decided what tomorrow's word will be. Tessafile.
Tessafile?
Mm-hmm. Someone who really, really loves you.
That's a good word. That's a worthy word. It is not, however, a real word.
Yes, it is. I made it up.
I like it, and we're gonna keep it.